Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is an award-winning artist from Manitoba. He is a Male Artist of the Year award winner, and his single, Anywhere the Night Goes, kept him on the Canadian Billboard Top 50 for 18 weeks. He has performed with Keith Urban, Bryan and Carrie Underwood, and his latest song was written with Juno Award winner William Prince. So, let's spill the tea with Jason Kirkness. Welcome, Jason.
Well, thanks for having me on.
The first things that I want to talk about is the people that you have been on the bill with. Keith Urban, Bryan, Carrie Underwood. Those are no small names in the never mind the country genre. We're talking about the entertainment profession and industry. Those are massive, massive names. And I know that there are people out there that want to know, how did you do it? Like, how do you get on the same bill with those big performing artists? I'm thinking you probably don't just, out of the gate, you've been playing for a week or two and you call up and say, hey, I'd like to open for one of these people. What does it take to get on the stage with them?
Okay, so I guess real quick, I'll just give you the whole synopsis pretty quickly. My first record was called Life on the Road, and the reason that I think that was called that is because a lot of the songs and stories came from, the years and years I spent being like in a casino band and a tour band and a cover band. And from there, I did my second record, and it was called A Beautiful Disaster. And then that had kind of my first brush with like some radio success and all of that stuff. Obviously, that came later on the current record. But I think around Manitoba, everybody kind of knew me as the guy that did 150 tour dates or 200 tour dates a year. So I was very comfortable on stage. And I had written some songs with a bunch of really great artists who all went on, like Will Prince and I have done, 20 songs together. And on my first two records, I think between the two, I've cut 14 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, sorry. I think just based on those sort of credentials, like I'm not a household name across Canada, but certainly in Manitoba, everybody in country music kind of knows who I am and knows my reputation for being able to put on a big stage performance. So I was really thankful that Country Fest, and then later also Boots and Hearts in Ontario, and a few of the bigger festivals kind of got wind of that reputation. And I guess it was just, the hard work of doing all of those club dates and being ready when opportunity knocked that I went out and I did those main stage performances with some of the bigger acts in country music. And then also in that same timeline, I also was fairly honored because I also got asked to do the main stage. Was a lot of fun and it looks good on my bio, but the thing that was really awesome for me that day was I got to do the songwriter circle, and the artist to my right was Charlie Major, then it was me, then it was Brett Kissel, then it was Gord Bamford. And if you're a country music fan, that's quite the lineup to be sitting in the middle of. And all of that was hosted by multi-CCMA award winner Wendell Ferguson. So in Manitoba, being regarded in the same circles as like those sorts of heavyweight names it's kind of an honor. It's took a minute to get off the prairies, right? It's a long drive to Ontario.
So were they nervous sitting beside you?
Oh, I don't think so.
Did they look were they cool? They were okay?
Charlie's super cool.
You didn't intimidate them too much?
No. No, not at all.
So I'm getting the sense that you probably have the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours of work into the profession in order to, get those kind of gigs. So I said tongue in cheek, you didn't just, you just don't start out a week or two. You've got to get your earn your chops and before you get to invited to those kinds of gigs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there was a whole bunch of years where I took absolutely every gig I could possibly do. I know a lot of people nowadays are like, well, this gig only pays like this much, or I'm not playing for. Go out and get the experience. And
Mhm.
even a bad experience is kind of a good experience in that you'll take something away that you might learn from it. So, I'd say get out there and do it. Like if you're gonna play live and if that's gonna be your thing, then play live.
Let's talk about your genre, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, known for country music, but I am not an ignorant Easterner anymore because I got an education on the jazz scene in Edmonton
Okay.
and that it's the home to the oldest jazz club in the country.
Yeah.
And I've done some interviews with people from Manitoba now, and realizing that across the prairies there are many, many different genres. Country may be, a predominant one, but there are many, many genres. Why did you gravitate towards that country genre? What was it about your upbringing, your background, or your love for that kind of music?
Um, I grew up really rural, obviously, like Winnipeg's kind of the biggest city around here, but that's an hour drive for us. Uh, Town I'm from is from Kleefeld, Manitoba. When I left, it was about 300 people. I think we're up to about 2,000 now. And just 100 yards from your house, there's a gravel pit, and behind that there was a forest, and there's a buffalo pen, and we're outnumbered 10-1 by cattle, and that's just kind of what life was about. There's a stream a mile away that we used to ride our bikes to and go fishing. I don't think there's any fish in there, but we could spend a day with a line in, and
It's not about fishing, is it? It's not about the fish. It's about
no,
the
it's
camaraderie.
it's just about doing the thing. So I grew up quite rural, so obviously the storytelling from country music of that time, uh, country music's kind of strayed from that at the moment, but the story at that time, uh, a lot of the songs was about the rural lifestyle, so I gravitated towards that. That being said, you mentioned a couple of the scenes. Obviously, like the punk and hardcore scene was super big at the time. I know if I could name off a bunch of the bands from that, just like some of the bigger acts like Propaganda and Comeback Kid from that genre. And then as well, obviously, like we have an exceptional jazz scene here. Um, to this day, Winnipeg still has probably like 100 rooms you could play in for live music. And for a city this small, that's an astronomical number when
Mhm.
you think about Vancouver. There's like Commodore Ballroom and maybe one or two bars, but I'm not sure like what you guys have in your area, but live music isn't really a thing as much once you kind of get past Thunder Bay or past Calgary.
Well, I'm currently in Burlington, so as far as live music venues, we go to Oakville for the Moonshine Cafe, which is
Okay.
it's a little dive bar that's got so much personality. I just love it there. How do you talk about the country genre and where it is today and how it may have, to use your words, strayed from what it used to be like. Many genres have got a lot of crossover now, and they're mixing a lot of different genres to come up with this new style of music. So, how do you feel about the country music of the past? If we go back to Charlie Pride's day and that era, how do you feel about the music from then compared to where it is today? Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it just different?
I definitely enjoy old country music, and I enjoy it for its time and place. I don't think it would be a requirement necessarily to have like the current sound of country music be still sort of stuck there. I think it's awesome that the genre has gone and grown and allowed a lot of artists to be creative with their own sounds. I think we're in a bit of trouble right now because there's so many people that are higher up in the music industry, like at the label level and at the radio level, who are allowing uh, people who have no interest, no history, and no pedigree with country music to be labeled as country music. And I
Mm.
think that uh, quickly that's going to alienate a good amount of the fan base. And I know the country music fan base has always been known as super loyal. And if you're an artist and you're accepted, then you have these fans for life. It's not a short career. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not one hit wonders. Country music has always been based on getting to know an artist and being with them throughout their entire life and hearing your own story in their life story. So when they're allowing people who are the highest bidder to kind of come in and have a number one record debut for a first time country artist, even though they're maybe popular in the pop world, it doesn't serve country music as a genre, and it doesn't serve the future of the genre to be loyal to the fans who have been so loyal to the music.
You wouldn't be talking about anyone in particular that might have had a crossover lately?
No
No.
particular artist will be mentioned.
What do you like about performing? What gives you that really that boost? What's exciting about it?
Uh, for me, performing is kind of about just being with I guess it's kind of an odd question. It's the double-edged sword because I get kind of a little bit too worked up about it sometimes where like for me it takes the whole week and I think about it and I'll go over things over and over and over and it takes a lot of mental energy so that when the show finally does kind of come around then I'm so like I'm so into it and so focused on it that it's been like my obsession for the week. So uh the release of the energy, the endorphins, the dopamine or whatever we call that stuff, serotonin, I don't know, the head stuff.
The head stuff, yeah.
It's good. Um, and then also just being in community with other people who have uh listened to the songs and built their lives and their life stories around the songs. So they're there for the like to share like the shared experience of the whole thing is what I really enjoy. And I like hanging out with everybody afterwards and I'll um you know I'll happily stay around for an hour or 2 hours and sign everything and do the whole thing because I just want to be in the moment and sharing those experiences. The
Mhm.
songs mean different things to different people, and I like hearing about what it means to them.
You started off in a choir,
Yeah.
and some people may be surprised to find out that you spent some time in a punk band as well, and now you are in the country music genre. I don't see anything similar about any of those things in my mind. Perhaps you could connect the dots for us.
Yeah, obviously, in grade school you're in choir and that was the joy of music then and I took piano lessons and that was just for the joy of music. And I was in a punk band because my buddies wanted to be in a punk band. I was in a shoegaze rock band because it's what everybody was into. Smashing Pumpkins was a big deal, so uh, my buddies like that kind of music, so we played that. And then um, you know, country music is the most important thing to me and has been for um, the majority of my life. But I'd never wanted to ever sort of single anything out or take away from an experience that you could have. And certainly when it comes to music and like what's the learning moment, what's the takeaway, and um, just getting that stage experience and as much, on much experience as possible playing music and learning from other musicians. I think that will always make you well-rounded and a better player.
You've had really good success with your music to date, especially as you said with this with the last round where you spent time on on Billboard. You've been involved with uh, big names in the music business as well. If the magic music genie could come down from the sky and say, Jason, I'll grant you a wish, what would you wish for your future? As far as is it a recording contract? Is it to open for somebody? Is it to, maybe have Carrie Underwood open for you? Like what's still on the wish list?
Um, that's a fun question because I don't actually really have one. I love my career and the way that it is right now. Like I love it that I can put out songs and they get on the radio, and I love it that like I can play some smaller venues, and that's kind of where I'm at, just intimate nights. If 200 people show up, it's because 200 people love the music, not like um there's no part of this that I don't really love. I love the anonymity where like I can still hang out at the mall, but like have a whole bunch of people cheering at the show, but then I can go to the pub next door and have a pint.
Well, that really says something about your career when you could say that, I like where I am. I'm
Hmm.
comfortable, and I wouldn't change a thing. So good for you to be able to get to that point in your career. Let's get into one of the songs that Jason wrote. This song was released in October of 2024. It was written with Juno Award winner William Prince. It delivers an anything is possible vibe. So let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Jason Kirkness and his song, My Vegas.
In my Vegas, you run my world. Spend my last dollar on you, girl. There's something about the magic in this town. And in my Vegas, you're all I see. Come on, slide that shirt up off of me. Let the ice in my glass cool your body down. It starts with the shots and dancing just a little. It's getting too hot now. I'm betting that you're 21. Just miss your flight now. Show you Vegas my way. In my Vegas, girl, you bet on me. On passion will burn like a neon dream. And the city of sin will be the talk of the town. It starts with the shots and dancing just a little. It's getting too hot now. I'm betting that you're 21. Just miss your flight now. Show you Vegas my way. Is shining on the sinners. Baby, tonight I'm feeling like a winner. So let it go and I'll show you Vegas my way. It starts with the shots and dancing just a little. It's getting too hot now. I'm betting that you're 21. Just miss your flight now. Show you Vegas my way. City of lights is shining on the sinners. Baby, tonight I'm feeling like a winner. So let it go and I'll show you Vegas my way.
That was My Vegas by Jason Kirkness. Jason, tell us about the song and what was the inspiration to write it.
Um, Will and I have written quite a few songs together. Sometimes he'll bring kind of a mostly finished idea. Sometimes he brings me completely finished songs. Sometimes we've been in the room and we've co-written together. This one, this one was actually kind of funny because we'd written a bunch of other songs and we'd had this one kind of kicking around. On the work tape, it starts with Will's very what do you say, recognizable voice saying, debatable Vegas song, Prince and Kirkness, and then 20 whatever the date, and then it's because neither of us like really loved it at the moment, and then when we kind of got to the finished version of it, then we're like, oh man, this actually is pretty good. We'd actually kind of written it with the intention that it wasn't about Las Vegas specifically, but it was about like turning, your own little small town into like my Vegas. And then we thought like, well, that's maybe like too complicated of an idea. And then we debated it back and forth, and then we're like, make the twist so that it's actually just, let's just make this about Las Vegas. And um, I've been there a whole bunch of times, and Will had been there, so it was kind of a good compromise to like simplify the song to like be a little more relatable. Sometimes you get down these like long songwriting sessions where you're like, oh man, and you think you have a great idea or you think you have a bad idea, but you finish it anyway because it's oftentimes about the process. And then you listen back and your feelings that you had in the session maybe weren't exactly the same as like what actually happened. So yeah, it went from like debatable Vegas song Prince of Kirkness to like a song that we really felt good about. I was like, this should probably go on the radio and on the record. So again, that's just like how the meaning of songs changes over time, and how you can just really connect with the lyric, or maybe how something, we call them throwaways, where you'll just like say something, and sometimes that's just like the placeholder for like, this is a bad idea, but when the good idea comes, it'll go here. And then sometimes those turn into like, oh man, maybe we missed the boat, and that throwaway was actually the core of it.
Jason, how do people find out more about you and your music? What's the website, the socials, and the streaming platforms?
I'm at jasonkirkness.com. The socials are all at Jason Kirkness, and I'm on all your favorite streaming sites.
We have been in conversation with Jason Kirkness. Jason, thanks for being with us.
Anytime.